Hello all. So in the previous classes, we have discussed with the receipt voucher along with the journal voucher, and also we have studied with the sales voucher and the purchase voucher. So payment voucher and the contra voucher, and pertaining to relating to certain voucher transactions we have studied. So today we will learn about the debit note voucher, reversing journal voucher, memo voucher, and based upon that we will also learn certain transactions, how ledger will be created, and how the transaction moves on with the Tally software, that is Tally ERP 9. Okay. So here in the case of credit note voucher, so what are the transactions that will be recorded whenever any goods is returned back to the customers? So you are going to record the in the credit note voucher. So here says a credit note is prepared by the seller and it contains the date on which the goods are returned, name of the customer, details of the goods received back, amount of such goods, and reasons for returning the goods. Okay. So what are the reasons for returning the goods? If it is any damages or if it is any any damages which is being found out at. So what will be the major implications and what is the reason for returning the goods? So that will be indicated under the credit note voucher. So what is the shortcut key which is being used is control plus F8. Okay. So and also this credit note voucher is required to record all the credit notes passed during the relevant period. So whatever the transactions that is being made or when it is returned back, so that will be recorded here. So in the case of debit note voucher, so which is being used for the control plus F9. Okay. So debit note is especially for the purchase returns. Okay. So you can also tell that credit note voucher is a sales return and debit note voucher is a purchase return. Okay. So whenever there are goods which is being on credit which is returned to suppliers, or it may be sundry creditor, is recorded using the debit note voucher. So debit note voucher is also called as what? Purchase returns. Credit note voucher is also called as the sales returns. So here in the case of debit note voucher, whenever the goods is returned to supplier, that information will be recorded under the debit note voucher. Clear? Then there is also one more voucher that will be recorded, that is reversing journal voucher. These are whenever the company arises with this information, then only these voucher comes into a picture. Until there is no transaction, then this entry is not so important. Okay. So reversing general or journal voucher speaks specifically with the F10 configuration. Okay. So what is the reason for reversing the journal? So it may be reversing journal are used to record a transaction without affecting the ledger account and the financial accounts. So which are stored in a reversing journal register. So which will be in a reverse order. It will not be in a continuous way. It will be in a reverse order. And it is also are the special journal that will be automatically reversed after a specified date. So these are the certain special journal you can call it of, and which will be reversed after specified date. Clear? So there are including the reports like the balance sheets. Even the balance sheets will be revised or reversed by using this journal voucher, that is F10 configuration. To activate reversing journal, what is the procedure? To activate these reversing journal voucher, there is a procedure, that is go to a gateway of Tally, then there will be an option of display, then exemption report, then you are going to arrive with the reversing journal. There is one more, memorandum voucher or the memo voucher. So memorandum voucher, or it is also called as the memo voucher, which is being used with the simple form as control plus F10 as a configuration. So it is a non-accounting voucher that will be used for memo voucher, will not affect your accounts. The regular accounts which you prepare will not be affected with the memo voucher. And it is also a kind of non-accounting voucher. Here. So one more if you take. So this Tally ERP 9 does not post these entries to ledger but stores them in a separate memo register. Remember, like if you prepare a balance sheet, certain headings will be prepared. So what is that called as? Which will be called as, which will be recorded in the footnote. So which says that it will not be appearing in the balance sheet, but it will be shown in the footnote. In the same way, such transactions will not be affected your regular accounts, but it will be stored in the memorandum voucher. So which is called as the memo voucher. Clear? So which is the short form used for that? That is control plus F10. So we shall see the transactions and how the ledger will be created and how the tally, through a usage of tally, how the voucher entry will be made. So which we already learned, okay? So the transaction number 1 says like this: 1/1/2013, Mr. Mohammed started business with cash of rupees 5 lakh. So started the business with the cash. So what will be the entry? Cash account debit to capital account, being cash introduced to business. So what will be the ledger creation? Ledger should be created in the terms of cash and also in the terms of capital. So cash will fall under the group cash in hand or cash account. Capital will fall under the group capital account. So to create a ledger, so what is the procedure? Going to a gateway of tally, accounts info, ledger, single ledger, then create these two accounts. So very important. This is the most important when you go for your Tally ERP9 software. When you click onto it, it is going to appear. So fill the field to create a capital account. So certain name, Muhammad's capital, alias if you need, you can give, otherwise no need. So capital falls under the group capital account. So inventory values affected? No. Because if you are maintaining the stock information, then this is going to come into picture. Until unless the company is not maintaining with the stock information, then this information is not going to appear. Fine. So next is the voucher creation. So what is the, where you need to record this? Cash account data to capital account. So what is coming in? Cash is coming to your business, so which is considered as a receipt, okay, in the form of capital. So which will be recorded under the receipt voucher. Very important for your examination point of view. You have to decide where you are going to record in the voucher. They don't give you in which you have to give the voucher. But the cash, whenever you are receiving something, it should be reflected in the receipt voucher only. Okay. So receipt voucher, credit the capital account, debit the cash. So I told you in a Tally RP9, only the payment account takes the debit and the credit, but all rest of the voucher takes the credit first and debit the next. Okay. This is how the entry will be generated. Clear? Next. Create receipt, go to gateway of tally, again accounting voucher, receipt voucher, click on F6 and enter the clear cut transaction. Then open the bank account in SBI depositing rupees 1 lakh. So who will be the receiver here? SBI is the receiver. Debit what comes in? SBI is the receiver. So what is going out? Cash is going out from the business. So being cash deposited to bank. So what are the ledger that you need to prepare? SBI bank account and the cash account. So the ledger to be created is SBI account under the bank account. So why there is no cash account information? Because the cash account has already been created in the first. See here, the cash account is already created. So cash account need not to be created as there is thereby default in the tally. So cash account always, I told you, the cash account and the profit and loss account are the default entry that the tally RP9 is not going to accept it, which means that will be default will be included in the tally RP9. Okay. So what is the transaction here? Here. SBI account which falls under the bank account, and the voucher that will be created is go to gateway of tally accounting voucher. So there is a cash and the bank transaction. So you can identify here whenever there is a bank to cash transaction or cash to bank transaction, it is a contra voucher, that is F4 configuration. The voucher entry show like this: credit the cash, debit the SBI. Purchased a computer for rupees 25,000, furniture worth rupees 10,000. So there is a two fixed assets which is being purchased. So purchases is made. So what will be the general entry? Purchases account data to cash account. So here, as there is a fixed assets name is mentioned. So computers account, furniture account data to cash account. Ledger to be created is capital computer and the furniture. See, purchased a computer. When you are purchasing, what it is going to impact to your business, there is a outflow of cash, which is a payment. So what will be the voucher entry that will be made? It will be recorded under the payment voucher. Clear? So as there is purchases, any purchases leads to payment voucher. Any sales leads to receipt voucher. You can write down in a notebook. So any purchases gives you a purchase payment voucher. Any sales gives you a receipt voucher. So which is F6. Now it is F5. So the voucher screen entry is going to appear by this. So purchase stationery for rupees 500. So there is a stationery account data to cash account. So this is how the transaction goes on. Okay. So made a contract with the Zoom cable TV for advertisement and made security deposit of rupees 5,000. So there is a deposit made. So where the deposit is made? In the security deposit. So what is going out? Cash is going out. The security deposit account debit to cash account. So the ledger creation goes on this way. This is how the entry will be passed in the books of accounts. Very important. Very important. Illustration number 1, and it is very much important for your 14 marks point of view. Okay. So we will learn this in the next video. Thank you.